breast. It's ridiculous. Idiotic. If you know you're not supposed to have certain things because you have diabetes, don't eat it. Oh, but it tastes so good. Okay. Tell that to your children and your grandchildren who won't see you because you decided to eat it. Doesn't make any sense to me.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio in Milwaukee, here is Dr. Ken Harris.
That's the one. It didn't print on the printer. I thought I had access. I heard it print.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. So, it's been a rough weekend, I'm going to tell you. It's been a long weekend, I'm going to tell you. You know why? You really want to know why? Because I didn't have nobody to talk to. So I had to hurry up and come back so I could talk to somebody. I mean, I could talk at home and I could do all sorts of things, but I had so much stuff. Because, you know, I got like the notepad and then I got some more stuff on the notepad and then I got some more stuff on the notepad and then I got the phone. And then I got the phone. So, yes. Yeah. But I had to whittle it down to one thing. And so, you know, there's only one thing in Milwaukee that really makes me mad. What do you think that is? What do you think it is? What's the one thing that disturbs me more than anything in Milwaukee? Right? So I'm going to try to tie it together. I'm going to try to let you know. I got to make a couple suggestions because I'm upset about something. Let me just say it now. Governor Evers vetoed the Republican bills on schools and COVID-19. Now, some of it I get, but other parts I don't get. Do you support something to the point where you cause trauma yourself and people pretend like they don't see it because you're a Democrat? Is that it? Or Republican? Is that it? In an article from Friday through Associated Press on CBS58.com, Democratic Governor Tony Evers vetoed 28 Republican bills that would have dissolved the Milwaukee Public School District, prevented certain COVID-19 vax mandates, and made it more difficult to obtain unemployment benefits. That I don't get, the unemployment benefit thing, but I'd have to read the bill. Measures Evers vetoed would also have eliminated income and enrollment limits for the private school voucher program, limited liability for gun and ammunition manufacturers, and prohibited the teaching of a concept known as critical race theory at the UW-Wisconsin system, and technical college system. Now that's stupid because it's a theory and it's a theory that's taught and it doesn't necessarily purport to call white people racist and all that, but that's a group of people that don't really understand it. He also vetoed a so-called parental rights bill that would have allowed parents to determine what nouns and pronouns their children are referred to at school. And I think it's dumb that he vetoed that. It's a parent's right to decide what their child is and who their child is. So for you to say a school has a right to usurp a parent's authority and do whatever they want with a child, That's that if you're 12 or whatever age you are, you get to get birth control and have an abortion and all that. Don't have to tell your children. That's idiotic. The parent can't be responsible when you decide the parent is responsible, and then not be responsible when you decide the parent's not responsible. That's not your job. We need to remove the state from becoming parents and let parents be parents. And only in those instances where they are really bad should we allow the state to come in. The concept of parens patriae, or patri, however you want to pronounce it, where the state can become the parent, I understand in cases of child abuse, child neglect, things of that nature. But when you start to tell people, I have talked to so many educators that are in public school, both Milwaukee and the suburbs, who said Milwaukee needs to be broken down to smaller districts. It's like crime. The way you fix crime is you make the district smaller, so that you have a smaller, concentrated effort that you can have control over how you respond to crime. You can't necessarily stop crime. But when you stop, I think the Republicans are wrong to prohibit the teaching of critical race theory at the University of Wisconsin system and the Wisconsin Technical College system. That's just stupid. That doesn't make any sense to me. But then, hey, it's Wisconsin. Am I a fan of Governor Evers? In some instances, yes. In some instances, no. Am I a fan of anybody, really? In some instances, yes. In some instances, no. But one thing we have to do is, I think Governor Evers is not allowing the school district in Milwaukee to move forward. We keep holding education in the past. And in the past, I don't know, it's kind of weird, because in the past, Black people actually learned. So I went back and did a little research and started checking, let's look at this education. How important is education? Why is it, and I can beat up white Republicans and white Democrats, but recently, why is it white Democrats are arguing against making our schools better? Why are they arguing against making Black students and brown students in Milwaukee have a better education? Why are you dumbing down the system because you don't think they can do it, or there has to be something cultural in the system, when millions of Black people in America have been educated in predominantly white systems and did just fine? What is the problem? Well, I think number one, first, we got to stop looking back and living in the past, because I think what's happening is exactly what we're doing now. We're missing being prepared for what's coming in the near future. We keep arguing about what kids can and cannot learn instead of educating them so that they can work. And watch this. They've already missed Internet 2.0. We're at 3.0. We're at NFTs, where most kids have no idea what the heck that is. But once again, instead of making something better, when I talk to Black, white, Hispanic, Asian school educators, school administrators in both public and private, at least 60 to 70% of them all say, break up Milwaukee, break up the school district, turn it back over to the parents, and let's help the kids. But in order to do that, there's some things you need to do with teachers. I got two suggestions. Number one, performance standards. They need to be for the kid. If you're going to give a kid a performance standard, you got to give the adult a performance standard as well. Yes, I know there are all the instances, but we had instances, well, it wasn't as bad as it was then. Right, and you don't have as many students as we had then either. But we had, I'm trying to think, there was a kid in my homeroom class in high school who had committed homicide and had just gotten released, and he came to school. And he went to school and finished and did his time, and that was that. So it can happen. We just need to hold people. We need to have some type of performance standard, not just for students, but for teachers as well, because you decided to go into education, right? I say that to you. I say that to all the cops who complain about what they have and don't have. You decided to go into that profession. If you don't like it, quit, go do something else. Number two, accountability for results, or you're fired. Period. With some reasonableness, of course. Everybody that was anybody in this country, if you think about it to some degree, was educated. So I took a list from Ida B. Wells and Mary Church Terrell, W.B. Du Bois, A. Philip Randolph, Ella Baker, Bayard Rustin. If you don't know who these people are, look it up. Dorothy Height, Rosa Parks, Whitney Young, MLK, Julian Bond, John Lewis, Michelle Alexander, the author, Latifah Simon, Ibram X. Kendi, James Rucker, Brittany Packnett Cunningham. Who are those people? You know who they are? Going all the way back from the 1800s to 2022. They're all Black leaders, Black activists. But you know what they all have in common? It's amazing. The one thing we're trying to kill, education. Every single one of them graduated from college. From Rust College to Oberlin to Harvard to CUNY to Shaw, Yale, Wilberforce, and on and on and on. Morehouse, Fisk, Vanderbilt, Auburn, Stanford, all Black. Wash U in St. Louis, all Black, but with college degrees. The only one on this list that doesn't have a college degree is Rosa Parks, because she dropped out to help her ailing mother. But even she went to Alabama State Teachers College. Education is the key. But what do we worry about? The past. Yes, we need to know our past. We need to pass on our information. We need to find out our heritage. But in the end, we need to help our children understand that education is the number one key that no one can ever take from them. We need to correct the Milwaukee Public Schools or get rid of the school board and turn it over to the mayor's office and have Cavalier Johnson and the city council run the schools. And if you're scared, let me talk to all the leaders in the city of Milwaukee. If you're scared, I would say don't worry about it. Don't worry about getting voted back in. You do what your leadership says they want. You know, they're called people, or as you like to call them, constituents. But I think Ted Turner said it best. Stop worrying about making mistakes while you're making history.